Who that, everybody? My name is Tracy Bartholomew, Stephen Bijou, and you are watching the Saint Stop podcast. What's up, Steve?
What's going on? What's going on? Out here staying healthy and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Got to, man. That's what we're here to talk about too, man. They got this big thing going on, this virus that then shut the sports world down. All major events is being closed. I mean, it's all over the news. You can't go to Walmart and buy no toilet paper. God, man, what's going on out here right now?
You can't buy nothing right now, bro. It's crazy.
You
It's
can't
crazy.
get nothing.
A homeboy of mine, he posted this picture and he was like, "Yo, all the toilet paper gone, but the vitamins to boost your immune system is still here. How dumb is that?"
Right. Ain't nobody worrying about boosting their immune system. They worrying about having something to wipe their butts with, man.
Facts. Hey, hydration and wiping your butt. That's all you need.
You can't find no hand sanitizer. Man, it's really going down right now. Um,
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? It's better safe than sorry, bro. You know what I mean?
right. Definitely. Yeah, to everybody watching, man, y'all stay safe, man. When it comes down to this virus, you won't feel any symptoms at first. It takes up to 4 days for you to start getting sick. So you would already have the virus and won't even know it for 4 days before you start, either coughing or feeling sick in any kind of way. So
Yeah.
you guys, man, definitely stay visual of that and watch how you feel. Um, yeah, and this thing is airborne. So that's even crazier. You know what I mean? Just by being in a room with somebody talking to them, you got it.
Hey, man,
There's been plenty of
that's that's why I stay off by myself, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I go outside when I absolutely have to. Other than that,
right,
nope. I ain't coming to see you. I ain't coming to visit you. We could talk on the phone. We could FaceTime even. You know what I'm saying? I ain't taking no chances.
so yeah, we'll get into a little bit more details about the virus in a minute, man. But let's talk about why we're here, man, and talk about these sports. This virus is shutting down all the sports, man. We can't watch nothing. Not basketball,
Bro,
not
it's
football, not nothing right
hey,
now.
but you know what? But you know what? To everybody that's here watching the podcast, and to the future people that will see this later, we are here to entertain you. You cooped up in the house for the next 2 weeks or however long it's gonna be. You can't leave. You can't watch none of the usual stuff. That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
We got you.
right.
You know what I mean? We gonna weather this storm together. You know what I mean? But
That's right.
yeah, man, it's weird, bro. Like everything shut down. Coachella, E3, NBA shut their season down. MLB postponed their season starting. The XFL shut it down. Oddly enough, the one thing that's still going is WWE. But it was weird because like just before we got on here, there's no fans. Like they're doing shows in empty arenas. Literally, it's like just the wrestlers and essential people. And it's weird because something like that, you need the live fans. That's what they thrive off of. You know what I'm saying? So it's like super weird seeing them do a show with no audience. It's like empty arena. Uh,
That's crazy.
but Vince McMahon, crazy ass, and the show must go on. He's still trying to decide if WrestleMania is going to go on in Tampa in a couple weeks, and
Hmm.
the government in Florida is like, bro, you got 1 week to decide what you're gonna do. If not, we're gonna make the decision for you. So I don't know, bro. It's wild. They're shutting down everything. I saw
Well,
something
I
earlier.
heard also that's what the NBA wanted to do too, man. They wanted to have their games with no crowd, in a stadium. And there was a couple of players that blatantly came out and said, "Man, I ain't doing it.
Well, I
If the
mean,
crowd ain't
cause
there, I ain't playing."
yeah, man. Well, not even just not the crowd, but I mean, that's not how they're catching it. They're catching it from their teammates. I mean, look at Donovan Mitchell. He caught it from Rudy Gobert, bro. I mean, it's
Hmm.
not funny, but you're doing all this and you're saying, oh, we can just play empty, but you getting it from the people that's closest to you. You know what I'm saying? Like to,
Right,
to run a
right.
basketball team, it still takes a lot of people to do what they need to do, and you still next to these people. You playing a game, you sweating, you perspiration all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So it's just shut it down, man. Just shut it down and
Yeah,
postpone it. But logistically, it's a nightmare though, bro. Because how you gonna reschedule all this, the games, and when you gonna do the championship? Off season's gonna be crazy now. If they just don't stop it altogether, the March Madness tournaments, both men and women, have been canceled. Um,
Yeah.
the NCAA is doing something pretty cool though.
Mhm.
For the guys that maybe this was their last year of eligibility, they're giving them all an extra year of eligibility to play since they canceled the tournament.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool of them because typically the NCAA is an asshole. So, but I think with the situation and not wanting to lose certain players or getting them because March Madness is ratings, man. That's money. And that's
Hmm.
another thing. This coronavirus, bro, is going to affect the economy in a major way. I think because all these events. I mean, Coachella, it brings in half a billion to Texas. 400 million or so.
Right.
I mean, not Coachella, South by Southwest, and now that's canceled. You know what I'm saying? So that's a half a billion you're not about to get. Um,
So
E3,
something
Comic
else,
Con.
something else real big, man, that they it's rumored that may, if this thing proceeds as it's going, which it looks like it is, like a lot of people's taking this thing as if it's gonna be, a month or two and die down. They're treating it like it's temporary thing. But what I'm hearing from like doctors and watching, news and things like that man, this thing is far from over. So one of the big things that they're actually talking about shutting down is the 2020 Summer Games supposed to be held in Tokyo. Now that's a big deal. That's a lot of money, especially for Tokyo and that economy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
just everything down the line, bro. No matter what it is, no matter what sport, it's just they're like, no, we're not doing it.
yeah. I mean, it's again. I think I would say it's a little bit of an overreaction because people acting like this is one thing, but it's not. It's literally a version of the flu, right? But again, the flu can kill you, so it's better to be safe than sorry. So I get it. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, even the NFL, this upcoming weekend is supposed to be the beginning of the league year. They're talking about possibly pushing that forward, postponing it for a little bit. So free agency is supposed to be right around the corner. That may or may not
Hmm.
happen, unless people are just going to get deals done through emails and fax. You know what I mean? So people don't have to actually physically be there to get these deals done, which I can see that. I mean, technology, we got FaceTime, we got all this stuff. It can be done. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't have to have a bunch of people in one room or fly to meet up with somebody. Nah, bro, y'all got these computers and monitors and all this. Just FaceTime with whoever you're trying to talk to. Get the deal done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean FaceTime's big right now. FaceTime got to be big right now. We can't have any
Facts,
interaction with each other, especially if you already have the symptoms or you've got tested and actually contracted the virus. Um, that's the only way of communication for people right
bro.
now is through FaceTime.
Hey, it's crazy when Forrest Gump got the virus, bro. All he do is run, and he could not run it. It's crazy.
Come on, man. Oh,
Hey, old Tom
Oh,
Hanks,
Forrest
bro.
got it, man. Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's so many big name people out here, famous people that actually has contracted this virus, man, and it's wild. It's very much wild. That means anybody, no matter how much money you have or what's your status, you can catch this thing. And
I
that's
mean, yeah,
when you
but
said it's not that they're kind of overreacting. I really don't think they are, man. When this
mhm,
thing, when you can actually say that this thing is airborne, like when is the last time we had an airborne virus, especially in the United
right,
States, when
right,
you could just talk and you got it. You don't even have to have interaction with that person. You just got to be in the same room.
right.
And that's wild, man. When you think about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's certainly crazy, but it is what it is. Be diligent. Do what you usually do during flu season. Wash your hands. Take extra baths if you have to. Boil your water. All that craziness. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful, bro. Take steps, and everybody be safe out there. But that's enough of that. This is morbid. We are here to take people's minds off of this. So we're gonna start breaking down some of this football talk, which is what people are here for. You know what I'm saying?
All
Of
right.
course, we're gonna touch on it because the world event is what's going on. But you know, There's a lot going on in the football world, man. Franchise tags have started to be applied earlier today, so a lot of guys are coming off the shelves already. Um, the Dallas Cowboys have not used the tag yet. The Saints have not used their tag yet, but the Bengals have used theirs on one of their linemen. So what that tells me is they will not be tagging AJ Green. AJ Green is set to hit the market now that he didn't receive that tag, which is big for the wide receiver market. But even with that, to talk about that, the Saints need wide receivers, right? That's one thing that we've been talking about. One thing that everybody can agree to.
Yeah.
Because this draft, a lot of people are saying this particular draft is the best wide receiver draft in nearly 15 years. Because of that, I don't think these free agents are going to get as much money as people think, especially a dude like AJ Green that's 32. He didn't play any games last season. Yes, he's prolific in what he was doing before, but you're on the wrong side of 30 and coming off an injury. And there's younger, cheaper, probably better options at this point. I don't think these guys are going to get broken off like that. I mean, even Emmanuel Sanders from the 49ers, he's set to hit the free agent market if they don't tag him or get something worked out. He's on the wrong side of 30, 31, 32. He still balled last season. Yeah, he put up some good numbers. He's still a viable option, but they're not going to get the 8, 9, 10 million or nowhere close to Mike Thomas numbers. You know what I mean? I think Amari Cooper is kind of looking for that kind of deal from Dallas. I don't think he's going to get it. He might end up getting franchise tagged because you got to pay Dak, and he's wanting an absurd amount of money for what he's worth.
Dallas has an absurd amount of money, but when it comes down to Amari Cooper, man, he is their Mike Thomas. You know what I'm saying? He's their number one receiver, man, and the guy has produced the whole time he's been in Dallas. So I think that's one of the people they need to start paying. Why you paying, Dak Prescott an enormous amount of money? Or you're thinking about it in the conversations with him. And Ezekiel Elliott, one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL, you paying this guy all that money. Amari Cooper needs to be on your list to one of those people that you're going to move some things around to keep.
Fact. It's really about preference at this point. If they deem Dak the guy, I'm starting to hear rumors now that the Cowboys are interested in Taysom Hill.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
Bro, I don't know how I feel about that, bro. Like, it seemed like they always trying to get everything we got. Oh, y'all have a coach. Oh, this quarterback should have been here. This player should have been here. Oh, like, man, shut up. Just just shut up. Y'all just hating real hard.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, or if that would be a good fit for Taysom on Dallas. I mean, I really haven't heard that. I really haven't heard that conversation being thrown around there about Dallas thinking about Taysom. And I wonder how honestly, they would use him.
If anything, I think Teddy B would be a better fit for them for the kind of quarterback that he is and like what he does. I mean, him and Dak are basically like the same guy, as far as playing
Just
style.
about.
So
don't mess up.
Yeah.
Try to make some big plays if you can.
If you have that guy that can stretch the field, you're going to throw it to him. If not, you just not turning the ball over,
Right. But when it comes down to Taysom, man, I don't know. I don't see that fitting right there unless they use him the same way we use him.
Hey, look, like I said, bro, you want to give us that first round pick? Here you go. You can have him. It's not up to me what you do with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Hey, you can have him. I would take that deal in a heartbeat just to have that extra pick. But the Saints announced they did slap the first round tender on Taysom. So we have a chance to match or just let him walk. And honestly, depending on what that contract is, I feel like if anybody offers him an offer sheet, they know that they're giving up that one for him. So they've already made up their mind. They're giving up that one for Taysom. I don't match. If I'm the Saints, anybody offer him a contract, cool. You got it. I don't care if it's like for $2 million a year. Cool. You got it. You know what I mean? Like, even if we could match, I wouldn't. And not because Taysom Hill's not a great player, but just because that first round pick can do more for us, maybe even in the long term, than Taysom can.
Yeah. I don't know. That was hard, man. That was hard for me, man. I really like Taysom. And I like his playing style and what he's done for the team and how we use him. So to say a rookie could come in and do more production than he's doing, especially when our mindset is Super Bowl right now, I'm not sure that anybody coming in is going to be more of a value than Taysom.
I mean, but think about it. Like, okay, say we flip him for a one, right? And then that one turns out to be a Justin Jefferson, a uh, Simmons
Mm-hmm.
from Clemson, or a Henry Ruggs, or any one of these wide receivers, or an impact defensive player, right? I'm taking that because guess what? They're going to be on the field for more snaps, especially a wide receiver, right? That wide receiver is going to be on the field 80% of the time, right? Where Taysom is only on the field 10 plays, maybe. I mean, they say they'll open it up a little more, so 15, 20 plays. Like, it's value. He's going to be like whatever rookie we get in the first round, especially with that extra pick, or if we couple them and move up and get a higher pick, that player is going to impact the game because he'll be on the field more often than Taysom.
Okay. I see what you're talking about. Um, but it would have to be someone that can come in and be a every down player. Like, don't forget that what our mindset is. Drew Brees is still at the helm of this football team.
Yep.
So, like I said before, it's Super Bowl now.
Yeah.
So if we were to trade this guy for a first round pick in some kind of way, and whichever number that it falls in, that player would have to be a Jefferson or Ruggs, or you know what I mean, somebody that's going to come in and make an impact right away. Like you, soon as the
CD
first day of
Lamb.
season, you are a starter.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of guys, man. I mean, Jeff Okuda, CD Lamb, any of those
Mm-hmm.
guys, bro. I mean, they could come back and be instant playmakers.
What do you think about Jordan Love?
I thought we talked about this briefly. Jordan Love can be a starter for sure. Can he be a franchise guy? Possibly. And the reason I say that is because I feel the same about Jordan Love as I feel about Josh Rosen. I feel like Josh Rosen went from one bad situation to the next, and now people are deeming him a bust. They draft him in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, when he was in UCLA, right, we saw this dude ball out. We saw him in all the shootouts and the everything, right? And he's at UCLA,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like he was in a bum school in a bum division. So you go to Arizona with no offensive line. Your best weapon is Larry Fitzgerald, who's 50 at this point. No disrespect to Larry, but he's old, right?
Right.
No running back, no help, fresh new head coach that's never coached in the NFL before. It's just a bad situation for you to think you're going to be successful. And you're in the same division as Seattle, San Francisco, right? So it wasn't going to work. Not
Mm-hmm.
without getting him a bunch of help around him. Then they're like, okay, after 1 year it didn't work, we're going to trade you and draft Kyler Murray #1 overall, which they did. But then you trade him to Miami, who literally never thought that this guy was going to be the answer. Their mindset going into the season was tank for Tua, right? They wanted Tua
Right.
Tagovailoa. That's what they were going to do. They started shipping out. Like, I mean, dude, Mika Fitzpatrick and all these playmakers started trading them for picks. Now they got 3 first-round picks, and I think they have like 6 draft picks in the top 40 or some shit like that, right? So it's they never had a chance. They sent all their best players away,
Right.
and then people are now deeming this guy a bust. It's not fair. I think the same situation applies to Jordan Love. He comes from Utah State, where they had no receivers who can get open, no offensive line. He lost the only, key playmakers he had to the draft the year before. So the year before he did pretty solid, but then he lost his only playmakers and is shifting guys around. It just wasn't built to succeed. I feel like if you put him on the team, that has even a little bit, you'll see what he's capable of. Because I mean, this guy, he has an arm. He has an arm. He has
He definitely has on.
he has good instincts. But you just, I mean, even Tom Brady in that situation or Drew Brees, or we wouldn't. I mean, look, we've seen Drew Brees without help, right?
Mhm.
He carried the team to 7-9, 8-8 by himself. But there's only so much you can do, right? So yeah, I mean, I think he'll be good if he goes to a good situation. If he goes to a team like a Miami, which I doubt it because they got the number 5 pick, so they might pick up someone sooner. But there's a lot of people are saying Jordan Love can go anywhere from top 5 to the bottom of the first round. That's how like varying this guy's like prognosis is. They people are evaluating him in all kind of different ways.
Right.
So
My
it's up there, but I
evaluation
think he
is
could be successful.
I've seen a couple of the guys games. I seen him at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he does have an arm. He's not as accurate as you like to think he is. Um, and I think his first his first year, if he comes, he needs to be sitting behind somebody. Don't throw this guy his first day at the helm of a team and expect him to succeed because it's not going to happen. I don't think he's ready for it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
He's
it's
definitely
just
a guy. He's definitely a guy that needs to sit. And then don't put him in a team where like the starter is a dude that's not that great. Like, don't send him to Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Like Jacksonville picks him up. They got a starter, but he's not. Really, I mean, neither one of them, Nick Foles or Gardner Minshew, they're not. Neither one of them are great. So don't put him there.
playoff
That's just
foes. Shout out.
man. Come on, bro. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Oh my god! All right, so yeah, definitely don't put him behind Nick Foles because Nick Foles is obviously going to get hurt at some point during the season. Then you're gonna throw that man out there head first, and then he gonna be the new 30 for 30 man. So we don't need that. We want the man to succeed.
I mean, okay, you say that. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute, right? Because you say that he's going to be a. Here's the thing. Do you know who Trent Dilford is?
No,
Okay, my point exactly.
was that the first 30 for 30 man? Because I know there ain't more. There ain't too many of them.
No. Trent Dilford is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens when they won the Super Bowl in 2000. Right? The very next off season, they got rid of him. So just because you win a Super
Okay.
Bowl, my point is just because you win a Super Bowl doesn't mean that you are skilled. And this brings me back to Tom Brady, right?
Well, you
it's
could
a
say the same thing about Flacco.
yes, absolutely, 100%. They had that great defense. I think they had Ray Rice that year. Man, they had everything going right for them, right? And Joe Flacco has been a bum ever since, right? Um,
Right.
and I can hear some smart asses in the comments. Well, Drew Brees only has one ring, and that. Yeah, but you can see the greatness of his play. You cannot see the greatness of Flacco's play. Dilford got dipped like the very bro. How you win the Super Bowl and then you get cut the very next offseason because it wasn't you. I
Right.
mean, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, and if the Eagles really thought that he was the answer over Carson Wentz, they would have dished out whatever they needed to dish out to get this man to be the starter. But no, you won. Okay, you won a Super Bowl. Good for you. But we got Carson. You see what I'm saying? So like
Hmm.
this whole playoff Foles hype train is no, just no. You was in the right place at the right time. That's all it
Playoff
was.
foes. Shout out playoff foes, man. I mess with you, foes. Believe that. I think you're a elite quarterback, man.
This guy.
All right, man. What else we got, bro?
Yeah,
Let
man.
me
So
see.
free agency, man. The league year might get postponed, which is wild because we already got the CBA negotiations going on. Which
Yeah.
wouldn't have stopped anything this year, but it would have if they didn't get it done by next off season. It was gonna, start a lockout. You got this right. So how is this going
So
to affect
let
the
me ask you a
draft?
question. Yeah, exactly. You talking about postponing free agency, right? A lot of things can't happen without free agency, because free agency is like one of these things to where, okay, we have the opportunity to pick up such and such player from whatever team, whoever comes off the market,
Mm-hmm.
to fill some of these voids before the draft hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to say that free agency being will be postponed, well, what does that do for head coaches and GMs that are like, well, the people that we were going to get at this time, we have to postpone. So we don't know what we're going to do in the draft now.
I mean, if they're smart, like we mentioned earlier, how many times have we seen like cameras in a draft pick's living room, him celebrating with his family? You know what I'm saying? They could easily
Right,
do this
right.
over FaceTime, bro. Like instead of making it a spectacle like they always do and have fans and all this and they make it a show, right?
Yeah, well,
Just don't
that's
do the
that's part
show.
of it, man.
It is part of it, but this is a unique case, right? So in order to keep business flowing the way that it needs to flow, you're already losing out on a lot. So try to minimize the loss. And so in that case, what you do is still do the draft, but just do it kind of old school, bro. Like you send your picks in via email or whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying? They got these conference like apps and websites now. You know what I mean? Put
Mhm.
your pick into the commissioner. Bam, cool. All right, this next person's on the clock. They call the kid. They don't have to be there. It's just a spectacle. So they can still do it. They can the same way
Yeah.
they can still do free agency. FaceTime whoever's agent that you're trying to get in contact with. Talk to the agent. Have the agent call the dude. Okay, that's cool. Okay, we'll fax you the paperwork. We'll email you the paperwork. Send it back. You know what I mean? Like it's that easy. I feel like people are making it
Yeah, but they
more
like to
difficult.
sit down with these guys, man, and have a face
Okay,
to
but see
face and
what you like to do and what's plausible right now are two very different things. So like, bro, do what you got to
right.
do. Like, I get it, yeah, face down, all that, but bro, I mean, we can have a conversation over the phone just like we can have a conversation sitting face to face. You know what I'm saying? And again, FaceTime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a thing now. We're in
So I'm
twenty-twenty.
gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here on this side, right, on this side of the screen, and I want you to
Mm-hmm.
bring your camera outside, and I want you to throw the ball and run and catch it by yourself, and I want you to run a 40. You know what I'm saying, so I can see
Bro,
how fast you still
by
are.
by the time free agency opens, your due diligence should have been done already. Should have been done. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know about a player by now, that's your fault.
It's not that you don't know about that player, but this player is hitting free agency now. So obviously the team that he was on don't want him.
But
So
that could be for a plethora of different reasons, bro. It could be because of
or they
money.
can't
It
afford
could
him
be
or
because they
whatever.
gotta, yeah, or it could be
But don't you
they
want
got
to
a new
evaluate this
coach.
player before you just start paying this
I mean,
money for him?
like that's what you have film study for, right? Like, okay, this is what this guy does good. This is what, and then you don't look at like 5 years ago. Look at what he did on tape last year, bro. Like, okay, so this is a more recent evidence of what you can do. Now, this is our scheme. What you can do, can that mesh up with what our scheme is? If the answer is yes, if the money is right, cool. Bro, even if you do, as we've seen with the Saints, many a times with free agents, Jarris Bird, Brandon Browner, the list goes on. Eli Apple, it don't always work out. Even if on paper it looks like it's going to work out, it doesn't always work out. So for
Mm,
that reason, it's not like you're taking a big loss here.
I hear you. I'm kind of I understand what you're saying. I wanted to give you a hard time though, because that's what I'm here for. Um,
just to
but
be an asshole, huh?
yeah. I got what you're saying though, man. Let's talk, man. What about the XFL though, man? How bad are they getting screwed
Bro,
over right now, man?
bro, I feel so bad for these guys. I feel so
I
bad for
feel
these
bad
guys.
for the owner of that whole organization, the
Man,
players.
hell nah, bro. I don't feel bad for Vince McMahon because bro, I just don't. like, um, Vince. Okay, so I feel bad for the XFL as a league because this is their first year. You know what I'm saying? And they had a
Right.
little momentum, but even looking at the TV ratings and everything, um, they were kind of declining, but they were still staying. They were steady around that 1.5 to 2 million range. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty good numbers for them. But now you don't even get to finish your first season, right? So there's no champion. You got to wait till next season. And then on top of that, they've already had it set up to where some of their guys can sign with the NFL. So let's say a guy like a PJ Walker, who's a quarterback of the Roughnecks, gets signed by an NFL team. Now some of your top talents going to the NFL because you done gave them a platform. Now going into next season, they may or may not be locked up. So now you got to find new talent. You got to convince
Mm-hmm.
people that this is something that it's like you basically have to start from scratch next year. Instead of going on momentum, like, yeah, we crowned a champion, we had a good
Right.
year, let's bring this in the year two. It's like, nah, we have to start over. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, bro.
And that's hard. That's hard for any business that's trying to start up or, you know, get something started to get knocked back when you're building your momentum. Um, and, I mean, furthermore, like I said, they'll be poached for talent. Whatever talent they had to sell the
Yeah,
XFL.
what did they do with the players now and whatever contracts those players had?
Oh yeah, so
Um
they did announce that they will be paying their players the full salary. Which is the right
okay,
thing.
so
You got
yeah, it definitely is the right thing. And shout outs to the XFL for actually doing that because the NFL would have did something retarded.
Oh yeah,
I could just
facts.
feel it.
Facts.
But
Facts.
uh I just lost my train of thought.
Well, okay, so a lot of those guys, it's not like their salaries were massive anyway. It was like the
Mm-hmm.
average salary was like 50, 60,000, which is not a lot. So these guys needed this to just live. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is definitely the right thing for them to do. Because it's not like, oh, week one you made 2.3 million, so you should be good for the year. Nah, it's like I made, I don't know,
Yeah, but the
$4,000.
organization as a whole, okay, let's say we,
Mhm.
you know, off of so many games, so many weeks, the organization itself has made, a couple of $100 million, right? From
Not even
fans
not
and
not even
or
close.
whatever.
Not even
All
close. Let
right.
me put it in perspective for you, okay, real quick. The Golden State Warriors make about $3.5 million a night for a game. That is the
Mm-hmm.
Golden State Warrior, one of the top one of the top organizations in the NBA. The XFL is
Okay.
brand new. They're not making
Yeah.
nowhere near that type of money. So hundreds of millions, no. If they've made up to this point 2 million in profit, I'd be surprised.
Well, you about to lose 2 million in profits and paying players and everything else and promotion and all that kind of thing right now.
Which
So
which is which is my point. Like, they're gonna take a slap in the face, and it'll be hard to see if they'll bounce back because of this. Especially again from a monetary standpoint, from a player standpoint, losing their talent. Um, it'll be hard. I mean, honestly, the only thing that can probably save them is if they partner with the NFL.
I don't know if they're ready for that. Though. I don't even think the NFL is ready for that kind of thing right now,
Bro,
man. Like they were. Go ahead.
every every single professional league has some kind of developmental league. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The NBA's got the G League, baseball's got minor league, hockey's got their league. Like everyone has it except for the NFL. I guess they consider the college system their developmental system. However, you see these guys, right? You saw like the play on the field for the XFL was not bad. It was not bad at
All
all.
right.
It was like
No, it
very,
was
very
actually pretty
competitive.
damn good.
And at a time of the year where it's a drought, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just basketball, but these games, some of them are good, some of them aren't. Baseball hasn't started yet, and even when it's here, that's boring, really. Um, so people are looking for something exciting to watch, and the XFL filled that gap. So think about it like this: the XFL partners with the NFL. Now they got
Mhm.
extra funds. they're getting maybe some of those guys that are undrafted or like 6, 7 round picks go to the XFL and play there, get developed. You know what I'm saying? Like, because clearly coming out of college, you weren't good enough to be a high draft pick. So if you go to XFL, get some game reps, because you're not really gonna get a lot of playing time here anyway. Get some game reps down in XFL. When we're ready for you, call you up. You know what I'm saying? And you can make money. I think it's a win-win for everybody,
So
personally.
do you think that's where the XFL is headed, or was that the plan to
I don't think
be?
that was the plan. I don't think that was the plan. I think the plan was to just be that league after the NFL starts to have year-round football starting in the spring. They were going to
Yeah,
probably expand.
I think that's what the plan was too, and I love that plan, man. I
I
don't
do.
really
I
want
love.
to.
I love that plan too. But I think that model should stay. I think that model should stay, and it should continue after the Super Bowl. Have that spring football. Um, it's just hard, like, to be hit like this in the middle of building something.
So do you
You
think
know what
they're
I'm
done?
saying?
Or are they coming back?
I hope they're not done. But, Vince McMahon put a lot of his own money into this. I mean, he sold a lot of shares of his stock in WWE to provide money for the XFL. Which is I don't know if that's smart or not. You know what I mean? But he put a lot of money into this. There's investors in this, and I mean, if you compare this version of the XFL to that version in 2001, it's night and day. You know what I mean? It's clearly just 100 million times better. So you hate to see it go down, but we have seen leagues try before, the AAF, the USFL. All these leagues have tried and they failed. You know what I mean? The AAF didn't even get out of their first season and they collapsed in on themselves. They didn't have enough money. The XFL, they didn't run out of money, but they didn't finish their first season. So I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
the good thing that they can look back on and say, "Hey, we started this season and we started off with a bang." So imagine if we would have kept this thing going and had a championship at the end, and how exciting the fans were to have these other teams in football
I
after the
mean, bro,
NFL.
some of those teams, what I do think, I love some things they did, and some of them things I think they should correct. Like they had the New York Guardians playing in MetLife. That stadium is way too big because, yes, you had 17,000, 20,000 fans, but that stadium could hold 80. So it makes it look like no one's there. You know what I'm saying? But the stadiums like, I think the Roughnecks play in the Dynamo Stadium, the soccer stadium for Houston, and that can
Mm-hmm.
only hold like 20,000. Bro, the games are like lit. You would think that people have been fans of these teams for years. When they score, they get loud, like you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, that's what's up. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think logistically they should try to figure that out instead of trying to play in these NFL stadiums. Find smaller arenas to play in
Mm-hmm.
until you can get to that level.
Right.
Um, but yeah, man, it's straight. I think it could be straight. I think they also need to focus on like developing their own stars. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
getting some of those college guys, getting their hands on them before the NFL can. You know what I mean? Like guys that maybe are going to transfer because it's not illegal for them to go and talk to these college guys, right? So
Right.
be like, hey, look, you don't know if you're going to be a high draft pick or you got to transfer instead of sitting out and going to the school next year. Come play for us. You know what I mean? Like start making your pitches, which I'm sure is something they were doing.
Yeah.
Um, but they also need to start. I mean, maybe not now. Maybe give it another couple of years, expanding into different cities. There's a lot of cities that could use the XFL team
New
that don't.
Orleans.
Yeah, facts. Like, bro,
Everybody's been talking about that, man. We want our own team, man.
facts, bro. Like, I would say like the Arena League sucks. So just buy the Arena League and make them an expansion team. Like, make the New Orleans Voodoo a XFL team.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, man. That would be a good XFL. They already got a bunch of crazy names, man. The Voodoo will fit right in.
Facts. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be fire.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think they were smart putting a team in St. Louis because they lost the Rams, the Battle Hawks.
Right.
That was smart. I mean, keep doing stuff like that, bro. But and I understand you're trying to get these big markets, but now, bro, if you look at the totality, New York got 4 football teams. Come on, bro. It's unnecessary.
Right.
Like, that's super unnecessary. But yeah, man, I think, bro, putting the voodoo in the XFL,
You know,
fire.
that would bring a lot of money to the
That would that
city.
would that would make me interested in going to voodoo games. Cause like, bro, who do you know that's like, yeah,
No
I want to go
one,
to a
no
voodoo
one
game.
watches arena football. No one,
Yeah, I
no
mean,
one.
maybe
I
if
think
someone
the
was like, yo,
logo
I
is
got this
dope though, man. I think the logo is dope. So
facts, the
that would
skull
be
and bones with
awesome
the
to see
hat,
that.
the yeah, bro, that's fire.
Yeah,
Um, if that, hey man, hey, if y'all listening, go ahead and do that.
yeah, do it, man. Make the NFL New Orleans, fans happy, man, and put the voodoo in the XFL. I think that will work out very well. Because
Facts.
nobody's watching arena football. I can't. I mean, I might have watched the first 10 minutes of a game maybe a couple of years ago, and I was like, this just ain't for me. So
Yeah,
bring my
nah,
team
man.
to the major leagues, man.
I mean, you gotta like the XFL should do is like those cities that are intimate with their teams, like New Orleans, bro. Like New Orleans support their teams. I mean, we even support the Pelicans and they trash. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no
So,
doubt, no doubt.
bringing the voodoo here, bro, like that's money. Like you got to look at that because if you in cities like LA, New York, where there's plenty of other stuff to do, right?
Hmm.
I mean, even the Chargers had a hard time filling the stadium. Like nobody cared about the Chargers. The Rams barely. I mean, they filled the stadium, but that's because they got to the Super Bowl. And this year they fell off, right? Um, but in
Right,
a city like New Orleans, where you can say there's stuff to do, but if you're from New Orleans, you did it all already. Not really, right? So yeah, I go to a voodoo game in the off season. Why not?
right. Yeah, definitely. And the tickets probably be cheaper. So a lot of people that ain't got hundreds of dollars to spend on NFL ticket gonna be at the Voodoo game rooting for the Voodoo,
Facts.
especially if they winning. Oh, man, we in there. You know what I'm saying? They win a couple of games out the season, and they ain't even got to be championship winners. Win a couple of games,
Facts.
man, and they gonna support them dudes 100%.
Think about this, right? Think about this for a minute. So like a guy like a Taysom Hill, right, who was the third quarterback. Now, because Sean Payton is Sean Payton, he figured out, okay, this guy could be on our roster. He can make a difference. But let's say a guy like him playing for the Voodoo in XFL, right?
Mm.
And if there's that partnership between the XFL and the NFL, then Sean Payton could look at a guy like that and be like, hold up, let's promote him to the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I think it's something that's very plausible. The XFL can keep their own system going and still be affiliated. I wouldn't let the NFL buy the XFL. I wouldn't do that, but I would just create a partnership. You know what I'm saying? To where we can be used as a feeding system, but we also got our own operations going on. And if you get to the point to where you're getting big like that, well, congratulations. You don't have to be a farm system anymore. You know what I mean? But it's a win-win situation.
Right. I definitely agree. I think that even though you weren't shooting for that kind of thing in the beginning, it might have a big impact on where you go now, especially since, like you said, it seems that they're gonna have to start over, and you're gonna be losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know, man, but man, let's shut this one down, man. Um, you guys stay safe, stay vigilant, wash your hands. Stop buying all the toilet paper, man. I need some, bro. I need
hey,
some. I went
hey,
to 3 different
get
stores
them.
today. Can't even find no toilet paper, man.
Go
Y'all
go
gotta
get your
stop this.
go get your Flintstones vitamins. You know what I'm saying? Get your orange
Right.
juice. Get your nutrients up. Stop eating that trash. And if COVID-19 think he finna stop us and think he finna weaken us and we not gonna come back stronger, man, what we tell him?
Man, stop playing with me right now. Who that, everybody, man? We love you guys. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.
Yeah,